I think a little bit, and I think my guys would say, Coach is not probably the same guy in the spring that he is in August, the reason I say that is because my job in the spring, I feel like, to make sure I'm in the middle, really evaluate our coaches, evaluate how we practice, and I think this last week I've turned it up a notch from an intensity standpoint, and they've responded. So I think coming out of spring, obviously we got a lot of things to do and a lot of things to get better at, and but I think it was a really good spring for us. I think we do have time to get better. We've got time to get, we've got some guys that are bunged up and really came in maybe with a shoulder that need to be fixed or a knee or whatever. That's not necessarily the most major thing, but we got a chance to get them healed, get them in the shape we want them to be in, bring these other guys in. And probably the biggest blessing for us, we had a core group, then we added to that core group with a class, that mid-year class. Now we add another group. So hopefully that culture is starting to get throughout the group we've got now, because we're fixing to add in another 30 to 40 guys in the summer, and we want them to know how we do things.
What are you telling the guys moving forward here now that spring's over, just sort of in the off season, if you will?
Yeah, I think for us, academics always take a forefront of everything we do. So, we want to be great students. We want to, we've set a standard in our GPAs and APR that we want to continue with, and they're doing a good job with that. And then let's be the best trained guys, in the country. So we want to be able to come into August in great shape and practice like we're getting ready for a game in 16. And, these 3 scrimmages we're going to have, we want to go out and be able to put on a great show and really get the team ready that we're going to be playing with in 17.
Were there many guys this spring that played a little out of position, like maybe a defensive tackle that was probably a defensive end just because of numbers-wise? And if so, does that help them grow as a player, moving forward?
I do think we experimented a lot. We did try and stay pretty close to where they were going to be. So, we didn't have any major moves. But, I think just anytime you can practice at different positions, for us, it may be the nickel, our star position in a corner and a safety. So that's going to make them more versatile. We gave everybody looks on the special teams, which is, such a big deal for us. We were so good at that in 14. So we want to make sure we keep that. So I think for us, it was just finding players and who fits what roles. So we got to eliminate some things, that we won't have to deal with in August.
I know going in, you said you wanted to come out with like a 2-deep depth chart. I mean, did you feel you achieved that? I mean, do you have the feeling about who is going to be really taking the load at least through fall?
I think at certain spots. I think, when you know that we went out and signed almost 30 guys and there's more to come, that there's going to be some positions just like receiver where we've had guys do a good job, but you've got some really talented guys coming in. So that's a tough spot right now to be in, but then I think other spots that we could probably say we're too deep in. So it's going to kind of be, this group was kind of deep and this group's kind of thin, and we're waiting on some, but we've really made, I think we've come out with some good decisions.
You can look at it, take maybe a report card just from the start to the finish. I know I'm jumping in kind of late here,
sure.
But ultimately, what do you see that this team and this group of guys has achieved from just the beginning of spring to now?
I think you got to give them an A for just attitude, and I had a coach come in. He said, "Coach, it looks like they're getting ready to play on ESPN here in 2 weeks." That was my goal. And that was our goal as a staff, to not make excuses, to not talk about we've got 67 guys, to just go play, practice football. And so that I give them an A for that. Now, where are we at as far as could we line up and play against somebody? I don't know. That might be a D. But I think the attitude and effort, which is what we say they can control. Just from an overall standpoint, I think an A, but I think that effort's got it's probably a B. Our standard is really high on how hard we play. So I told them today I think we did a good job. Some of that may be the numbers, but we're not going to lower our standard. And so the standard is there, and that's what we really want to get them ready in this off season of work between now and August practice to get ready to do.
Where did AJ show you a quarterback? Now you see him on the field.
Yeah.
Obviously you didn't like him, but you saw him on the field.
I think he had a good spring. I think he had a good spring. I think he's seeing, once again, that standard. But it's always tough when you got a guy that's very mobile to see who he really is, because a lot of times, the defense thinks he was down and he really wasn't down. And I think that's one of the things that we're going to be able to do is we're always going to have a lot of quarterback run in there, because it's the 12th man, and he's got that ability. So, I think he had a good spring and learned the offense. Now, hopefully, get in here this summer when they're doing their stuff on their own and be able to lead the team along with those other quarterbacks.